Just when you thought the Olympics was over, we've got one final event, which is the TFE Meme War. Thank you so much for everyone who participated. The response was overwhelming. I received over 80 memes from 11 different countries spanning 4 continents. And I should also mention New Zealand. I am a little bit confused. Any Kiwis out there can help me, that would be great. I recall in school being taught that New Zealand was part of the continent of Australia, but upon further inquiry, I cannot figure out which continent New Zealand is a part of, if it's a part of a continent at all. I discovered a continent called Oceania, if I'm even pronouncing that right. And I've never even heard of that continent. So very confused American over here, and would love a little help if you could. So yes, thank you guys so much. Shout out to England. England came to play. I received more memes from England than any other country, 28 of them to be exact. So let's go ahead and go through the memes. We've got Jeranism themed memes, Flat Earth Dave memes, Olympic style memes, all kinds of memes, all about the final experiment. And I'm going to go through just a sampling of them to share them with everybody. I should let you know I'm probably going to release these memes into the wild, and so I cannot be held responsible for what happens after that. Let's go ahead and start out with a meme, which is the absolute dumbest meme that I received, and it's from a flat earth channel called Awake Souls. Now, as you can tell, this meme is clearly not a fan of mine, referring to the 3 of us as Satans. Let me tell you why I'm showing this meme and giving credit to Awake Souls, who made it. I love stuff like this. Why do I love stuff like this? When you have someone on the flat earth side implying through this meme that Jaren and Austin have some sort of a deal with me, which is completely false, we know they're absolutely just lying and making it up. Who especially knows this? Jaren and Austin. And so I love situations like this because then Jaren and Austin get exposed to how people on their side of the debate, the flat earth side, are acting. They know that this is a complete fabrication with no evidence whatsoever. And so I love that they are going to get that exposure to know that people on their side are just plain making things up. Okay, let's go through the rest of these memes. I did find it a little strange that I did not receive almost any memes from flat earthers. Flat earthers, I think, have been responsible for more memes that I've seen than any other group of people. So I thought they would jump all over this, but they did not. Oh, well, here we go. This first one here is from the United States. I love this one because this is exactly what I set out to do with the final experiment, which was to put the debate to bed. Again, I'm a glober, but if we live on a flat earth, I want to know. And the final experiment will tell us one way or the other. I have no problem admitting if I'm wrong, but I want to put this to bed. The next one here comes to us from England. Great meme. This was a shock to me. When I created the final experiment, I literally thought both sides would be excited. You have the globe side and the flat earth side, and especially the flat earth side has been talking about going to Antarctica for so long. I figured, even though I was a glober, they would be excited about going to Antarctica, but it seems that is not the case overwhelmingly. Next one comes to us from Australia. Ben, thank you for sending this one. I got a chuckle out of it. Yes, a free Antarctica trip. Certain people online are acting rather afraid of something that is pretty cool and also innocent. Next one comes to us from the United States. And again, you're seeing through these memes how people are experiencing the reaction and the response to the final experiment. And so, yes, Originally, the flat Earth side was very adamant that there is no 24-hour sun. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's go look at this. And all of a sudden the excitement seems to have waned. Next one, also from England. I like this one because this is now what it feels like in hindsight, dealing with the final experiment, is it feels like we are now kind of forcing Antarctica onto the flat earthers. Next one is also from England. Got a chuckle on this one. A very similar theme, right? Which is there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. That was the bold claim from flat earthers, which they thought was evidence for flat Earth because it doesn't work on a flat Earth. And they thought it was evidence that we don't live on a globe because a globe must have a 24-hour sun in the south. And all of a sudden, now that the final experiment is involved, it looks like they are sweating it a little bit. All right, now let's talk about the Jaron Campanella memes that I received. Jaronism themed. Here's the first one. This one comes to us from the United States, and I like this one a lot. Now, just to be clear, to defend Jaron here, he is excited about the experiment. And that's what this meme portrays. He's excited about actually doing something which will be clear, which will be definitive, and which will finally help us seek and find the truth that we've all been looking for. This next one comes to us from Sweden, and I'm going to defend Jaron here for a second. I do believe that he is a truther that is legitimately looking for the truth. And so I think if he does go to Antarctica and does see a 24-hour sun, he will be happy that he now knows the truth and will admit that. Okay, up next are the Flat Earth Dave, the David Weiss memes that I received, which was a handful of them. Quick shout out to Steve. I was able to find out who made this meme originally. As I mentioned before, this meme has been going around for weeks, had no idea who made it, but was able to track him down. So shout out to Steve. He is in America. He's actually in the state of Illinois, and he is the one who created this meme. So thank you for doing that. Here are the memes that were submitted for this competition about Dave Weiss. First one coming to us from England. Yes, this is seeming to be the issue here, which is interesting considering Flat Earth Dave was the one who's been stating for a very long time that he wants to go to Antarctica, that he will go to Antarctica, and that Antarctica will settle the debate. Now he doesn't seem to have a desire to go at all. Next one from Australia, very similar theme, which is Dave Weiss appears to be wanting to avoid going to Antarctica and seeing if there is a 24-hour sun. One more from Sweden. This one is great. It's the old milk carton missing a valid reason for a 24-hour sun in Antarctica on the Flat Earth model. Have you seen me? If found, contact David Weiss. I should also mention that Flat Earth Dave is now calling me a demon. So yesterday on a video, he commented and stated that now I am a demon. So it's apparently not just my friends anymore, but it's also me. Okay, we got some Olympic-themed memes, which are hilarious. This first one comes to us from America, and I got a chuckle out of this one. If you're not familiar with this guy on the right is from Turkey, and he entered into a shooting competition in the Olympics and just did things differently. Didn't wear all the fancy eye gear and ear protection, and just kind of put his hand in his pocket and said, hey, I think I can do this my way. And my way is simpler, but I think it's just as good. And so love this. Again, it's relating to the fact that flat earthers have stated, you know, Antarctica is off limits. It's hard to get to. You can't go there, yada, yada, yada. And then I come in and say, hey, let's go. This next one is also the shooter in the Olympics from Turkey. And this meme comes to us from Poland. Thank you for sending it there. And yes, the final experiment is all about how can we get straight to the bullseye, straight to the target, not have something that both sides are going to disagree on or debate on the interpretation of the results. It's like, no, we are going to go straight to the heart of this debate, which is Antarctica, which again, both sides have said will settle the debate. Up next is a meme from Italy. Thank you for sending this, Giovanni. I do apologize, though. I don't understand it. I even translated it from Italian to English, and I still don't get it, but it's okay. Thank you for doing this. I recognize myself in the picture, but I don't know who the other two gentlemen are. All right, up next, we've got a theme on Antarctica. This first one comes from Norway. And again, it's like, hey, we can't go to Antarctica. And then the final experiment comes around and says, let's go to Antarctica on a free trip. Next one comes to us from England. Got a chuckle on this one here. Is the Antarctic Treaty in the room with us right now? Obviously, the Antarctic Treaty is real, but a lot of people have misconceptions on what it says. For example, I've been told that it states you can't go to Antarctica, which is false. I've been told that it means you can't go to Antarctica and independently explore it, which is false. I've also been told that it says you can't go further south than the 60th south parallel, also false. Next one, also from England, which is, again, I think what's being communicated here is that the final experiment, specifically what the sun does in Antarctica, is not going away. It's what everybody's talking about, and we are going to be going there in December and figuring this out once and for all. Next one is also from England, and it's the famous Spider-Man meme, and it's showing the state of affairs in the flat Earth community. They are fighting and dividing and really kind of going a little bit crazy here over the final experiment instead of joining together and working on this together and saying, hey, let's go to Antarctica and let's prove there is no 24-hour sun. Let's go to Antarctica and let's film a setting sun where the globe model says it cannot set. This is a golden opportunity that's completely being wasted by the flat Earth community. And what are they doing? They are pointing at each other and calling each other shills, government shills. Next one comes from Sweden. This meme is a grifter meme. And again, there's a lot of accusations of grifting going on. I have no idea who's grifting and who's not, but I will tell you that one of the cool things about the final experiment is it will expose who is grifting and who's not. If someone's grifting, they're not going to want to do the final experiment. They're not going to want to go. They're going to want to keep the grift alive. But if they are actually seeking truth, they will want to participate in the final experiment. They will want to promote it because they are seeking truth. So final experiment, very helpful in that regard. This next one comes to us from the UK, and it is talking to us about the change in the script, which is all of a sudden now the lights in the sky are not telling us anything about the shape of the Earth, and the 24-hour sun can't tell us anything about the shape of the Earth. We are going to be tackling this in a future video in the next couple of weeks and knocking this one out of the park as well. So just a fair warning, you might want to stop using this argument that the 24-hour sun can't tell us about the shape of the Earth, because that will not go well for you. Up next are the cat-themed memes that I received. This first one comes to us from England, and it is the first flat earther in Antarctica. And that's cool, right? As far as I know, there are no flat earthers who have ever been to Antarctica as a flat earther. And so this will be a first, and that's pretty cool. And again, there might be some surprises there. It might not be what they expected. Up next, also from England, another cat meme where it's like flat earthers are upset, and it's like, hey, we are doing the final experiment, whether you like it or not. And then this last cat one comes to us from Australia, and this is a good one. If you're familiar with the cartoon, the cat puts the shotgun into the mouse hole, thinking that he's got the mouse, and then the mouse puts the shotgun back through the wall to the cat. And so in this example, The flat earth side thought they had this solid argument, which was, hey, if you are right about the globe, then there would be a 24-hour sun. And now it's like, well, you might now be faced with a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And finally, we've got one from Sweden. Love this one. Thank you for creating this, Frederick. Why do I like this one? People, again, are complaining that the final experiment is not an experiment, just an observation. Of course, they're wrong. We covered that on our recent video. We showed how not only is the final experiment an experiment, some of the most famous experiments in history are very similar to the final experiment, and the experiments that the flat earthers talk about the most. If those meet the qualification for experiment, then so does the final experiment. So I'm no longer going to engage or respect anyone who wants to claim that TFE is not an experiment. And so this meme states that it's a difficult decision, right? One of the top flat earth arguments is that we can see too far, which is just an observation. And then they also want to claim that TFE is just an observation. How do you make the choice? Okay, let's get to the podium. Now, 6 memes, 6 people crossed the finish line at the exact same time. So this one came down to a photo finish. We're going to start with one from England, which did not make it on the podium by a mere fraction of a second. This one comes from Maria in England. Maria, thank you. I loved this meme. And I can tell you that this meme is accurate. I hear from people almost daily at this point through emails and comments, people contacting me saying, Will, please tell us, is Jaron committed? Is Austin committed? What's going on? And so this meme is very, very accurate. Up next, again, just barely missed the podium. This one comes from Turkey. From Turkey, I believe the name is Haydar. Thank you so much for submitting this one. I like it. There does seem to be a negative reaction to the fact that I have so many video clips of flat earthers stating either that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat earth, or that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica would prove a globe. So I would not be surprised if some of them are frustrated with themselves for having said that in the past. And then finally, one more from England, which just barely missed the podium. This is a great one. So the question is asked, how can we demonstrate that there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica? And the guy who says, well, just go to Antarctica, gets thrown out of the meeting. Love that. That's exactly how this feels running TFE. All right, that brings us to our finalists, to our medal winners. The bronze goes to Mexico. Pablo, thank you so much for this meme. This meme is very, very accurate. Prominent flat earthers, 0.2 seconds after learning about the final experiment, all of a sudden started moving the goalposts, changing everything that they had been saying for years and years. Congratulations on making it onto the podium and getting bronze. Silver medal goes to Sweden. Frederick from Sweden. Absolutely love this meme. I laughed out loud. This is exactly what has been happening. Ever since we've announced the final experiment, all of a sudden, everybody gets their own sun. Multiple people have said that every single person on Earth has their own sun. People have said there's 2 suns. People have said there's multiple suns. People have said we're going to create a fake sun. And so this one is fantastic to capture exactly the things that people are saying about now. With the fact that we're going to look at what the sun does in Antarctica, all of a sudden, everyone gets their own sun. All right. So drum roll, please. The moment you've all been waiting for. The gold medal in the TFE meme competition goes to Andrew and Anita from the UK. My wife and daughter thought this was the very best meme that I was sent. So thank you so much for sending it. It is very accurate for what has happened, which is that flat earthers really don't seem to want to go to Antarctica anymore. And if they do, it seems like they're not in search of truth, but rather if they see what they don't want to see, they're going to be like, man, let's close our eyes so we don't have to say we saw what we saw. So very creative, got a good laugh out of it. And I think there is definitely some accuracy there. So congratulations, everyone. For those of you that ended up on the podium, Sweden, Mexico, and the UK, we've got your country's flag on the thumbnail, which hopefully you should be proud to have that shown. So anyway, thanks everybody again for participating. I enjoyed this. Stay tuned for a couple of things. We have another flat earther who someone has offered to pay for them, all expenses paid, to go with us to Antarctica this December. I believe this will be the 6th flat earther who's been offered a free trip to Antarctica. We're going to talk about that this week. And then on Friday, if everything goes right, I'm going to be giving my response to Joe Hanvey. Joe Hanvey is the flat earther who stated he has solved for a 24-hour sun in Antarctica on a flat earth. Has he solved it? We're going to be taking a good look at that. And I must say, someone figured something out about his model that I completely missed. And I'm so thankful that they figured it out and shared it with me, because I do think it's a little bit unfair, and I would have completely missed it if someone else didn't recognize it first. So you're not going to want to miss that. Hope everyone has a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.